and I feel weird. It's just, I feel so weird. I feel sometimes like I could just walk right out of my body. And I feel like there's like these little shorting out or something. Like I keep thinking, like my hologram is glitching. Like it's weird. And I keep thinking that there's so much interference. And there is just a lot of weird stuff. Like outside, usually, because I've been sitting outside while it's been nice, and usually the lights that go over my deck are just covered with spiders. There's tons of spiders. Spiders all over my house, spiders everywhere you walk. You're walking through spider webs and stuff. There's tons of spiders. And this year there's not. I have hardly seen any in comparison. Like I've seen a lot of spiders for a normal person, but I'm in the woods, and or it's not at all like it was. And I've got these weird birds feuding. It's like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's all day long. This big tall dead tree that is already been cut off or broken off, so it's been out there dead for a long time. Which, motherfucker, all my trees, you know how I keep saying that they were sprayed, and I saw the orange splatters, and when I started saying stuff to people, they kept being like, oh, that's the something beetle or something. And I was like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How did it go all over the whole town in one night? And then people would just be like, I don't know, but it's the wood beetle. I'd be like, yeah, but it went all at one time. It went all across everywhere, and it's all orange everywhere. Like, people just have, it is so much about awareness. It's so much about pulling your focus outside of being consumed with how others are looking at you or what's going on in your life or whatever. I'd even heard, I had heard a thing about that people are losing their memories now. And somebody was saying, like, they were responding to that, like, to all you people who are losing your memories now, it has to do with a change in vibration. You don't need to know, memory is something you hold on to. All the stuff that I had been saying that had happened to me when I lost mine, that the realizations that happened to me, like we hold on to stuff. There's no reason that we need to remember some of this stuff. You got to be present in the moment. But why do we need to hold on to all these moments? Like to relive them, to repunish ourselves, to go back to the pain and just keep going over it and over it. And so I was like, well, that is fascinating that now there's more people that are losing their memories, because really, it really is no reason to have it in. But I think it's part of how they get us to focus. But when we change our focus, then it increases your awareness. You just start seeing more. You start paying attention. And that's where you get this idea of like, you're psychic. No, I'm just paying attention. I'm just paying attention, and I'm, listening to my guidance and stuff when I'm paying attention. So, anyways, this tree out here with these birds, this normally this woodpecker would be on that tree all the time. Well, so the tree must be hollow at the top down to some point. And I was kissed Estella and my hair all over my mouth. And she's really having such a hard time. She can't even barely walk. She just keeps crying. She's limping around. Oh my God, it's breaking my fucking heart. And I know it's the goddamn chemicals. So all my trees now, they aren't just sprayed with orange, and all the pine needles started falling off. Now you can see, like normally you wouldn't see any light like that. It was just that they're so thinned out. Most of the pine needles are on the ground. And then so now I was out, I've been out watering and doing stuff, being outside. And all of my trees have these white spots or big, giant, like it looks like they're just covered with mold or some sort of something. All of a sudden, all of these trees, even back in the green belt, they all have this, it looks like white spots or white lines, or one of them just has this whole giant, big, white, greenish looking thing going up the side of it. So obviously, to me, if I pay attention and I'm watching what's going on, and I know that they're burning down the forests, and I know that they are herding us into the cities to get us all to fight over a couple of resources, they're going to dangle up so that we all mass murder each other, so they don't have to do the work. We'll just go out there crazily killing each other, and so especially if I pay attention in Washington, and I just drove across, and there was no accident that happened. I even went the route that it took me, because when I was doing the route, my daughter was trying to put it in for me because I can't see well, and I went off on the wrong route that other time. So she put in my route for me to make sure I was on the right one. And she said that the one that you want to take isn't there. But that happens sometimes. So when you get to, I put you to this one town. When you get to that town, put it in your town, and you will go through. And so I started going, and then I got to some point way before the town, but I just went ahead and put in the address and picked the route. And I thought, well, if I'm going to go on the route that they take me. So I wasn't sure if I was on the one that goes through Stevens County, or if I was the one going through, is it called Stevens County? Why did I just say Stevens County? That's weird. Oh, because Stevens Pass. That's why I said it. I don't know if that's Stevens County. Theirs is Stevens County, but Stevens Pass. And so I was going to go across that one. Or that's the one that I had gone a few times. But so when you go up to the higher mountain one, you go way up in the mountains. Like I was way up in the mountains while I was driving. Like I said before, like this route is closed for part of the year because it's so snowy. And there was a ton of snow up there, but that was, that was all manufactured artificial. There's no reason that there should be all this snow up on the top of the mountain still and stuff. But I think that they're doing it to kind of put vacationers off. They're just trying to make our life hell. That's all there is to it. So, but when I drove up that way, which, to me, I was divinely guided to go that way because it kept trying to take me that way. So that's why I was like, well, I'm not going to fight it. If I'm supposed to go that way, I'm just going to put in my address now and pick the route. And if that's the one that it takes me on, that's the one I'm supposed to go on. So, and that's the one I went on. And so when I got up there and saw Okanagan was just burned out. Like when you see something on the news where they're just showing, this footage of these fires and stuff, you just don't really get the devastation of it until you drive through it. When you drive through it and you actually see all the dead trees, and it's devastating. And so I was driving through there, and and it was so crazy because right when I very first got in there, like I said, I was driving and I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I wish my cabin was right here. And then I go around the bend and it's just death the whole way for so far. I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting. So they did this on purpose. Like I just knew when I was going through it, like it was all manufactured. And then when I got to the next range or whatever you call it, like I went out at Okanagan, went through this cute little western town. Oh my God, it is so cute. I really want to go up there. And it's not called Wilbur. There's a little town called Wilbur, but that's really small. This one is called, it starts with a W. Maybe I'll think of it because it is so cute. Like if you look up pictures, it's like this little western town in the mountains. So cute. And so then when I drove through that one and I got to the next mountain range, where I was going to go up and cross, it's like the highest part where I'm going to start going up and then cross. So when I got up there and I started seeing the whole forest it was like dead Christmas trees mixed in with living ones. So it made no sense, just like what they did here. Just go out and spray and just let, like I did with the root. Just let it pick me. So just let the poison pick which tree is going to go. And so when I saw that, how it looked, I was like, oh, this is how they do it. It's exactly how they do it. They come in here, they spray these chemicals, When the trees die, then they just go in with their fire starting droids or drones or whatever and shoot the flames and start the fire, and it burns up because it's all crisped up. It's all poisoned. It's all dead already. So, and so then to have that awareness, see it in its different progressions, and then to see what's happening here, and to know I am in the next mountain range. I'm by Mount Baker, and so they're going to, and you know, that's been the talk since I moved in here, is about, for one thing, all these stupid fucking houses. Oh, that's what I didn't finish saying yesterday. So the thing that happened when I kept saying about that guy just kept burning and burning, I was getting so irritated. Why aren't the neighbors doing anything? And I called and I complained to the HOA, and I saw firemen going by. I've seen the sheriff go by. It's like, how do these people just keep getting to burn like this? This is mental. Like, if I went out there and just started burning for days and days and days, bet your ass I'd have a sheriff out here. And at that one neighbor, that was the shootout, because one guy was burning and the other neighbor was like, fuck you, and shot him. So well, he didn't shoot him. He shot at him, which brought out all the neighbors, which then he started shooting at everybody, and then he shot the sheriff and all that stuff, all that big drama. It was all over the neighbor burning. And so I guess there wasn't any burning yesterday. And I don't think the day before. I'm really mixed up on days and stuff like that, and time periods, like even at night. Like, how do you go and sleep? It seems like it's been days and days, then you get up and you still feel tired. Like, there's just so many things off. I don't understand. But so she said that there was so many people who complained, so many neighbors complained about it, that they got denied their burning permit. So they did get themselves in trouble using their greed. And I saw their fucking smug ass faces when I drove over there. Everything's timing. And drove over there and saw them. And I am telling you, they were practically sucking each other off with their excited. And the way that the other guys were just like, the ones standing guarding the gate were just standing there like they just wanted to get in on the action. Just it was sick. Like, I don't know, there's just something, you can just feel people's energy. You can just feel the whole thing, and nobody has to say anything. You just feel it. People put out energy and they just don't realize. That's why I keep saying people have become transparent and they don't even know it. So anyways, back to the other story, what I was saying. So I do think when we come together, we can stand up to the beast, and there has to be more and more people. We have to just keep coming together, because I know that we could put a stop to all of this building. You know, and when I kept saying something, you know, when people get a call, oh, it's going to make our houses go up. No, it is not. It is not. And none of us would, if we went out and built our own fucking houses, who would build it up practically touching somebody else's house? And over there, they're just, you know, bearing the land. They're just clear cutting it. So people don't even have trees or anything. Nothing. Just these close together, expensive houses that are all just painted the fashionable colors to make them seem, you know, appear. It's all an illusion. It's all just an illusion, you know, everything just like that. You know, you think, oh, that's so pretty, I'm going to move in. And then the fucking thing falls apart, you know. And so the thing is since I moved in, where it was like right away, I started having people say, you know, there's a big problem if we all have to evacuate. We don't have enough places to get out, and there's too many people already for our evacuation route. So there's going to be a real problem. And now they're coming in and dumping in way more houses, and they're not making more ways to move around. So, you know, it is kind of like a trap. It is kind of like they just, you know, but that would be their best idea. Their best outcome is like, you know, a whole community burns up in the fires. They, you know, God, people. I mean, look at what the earth is doing to us. Just give us some more tax money and we will do what we can to fix this problem. We will spray poisons in the air. So when the poisons poison you guys, you know, you maybe die sooner. I don't know. The whole thing is just so ludicrous, and people just believe whatever they fucking want to believe. It's just annoying as fuck. But there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about though. One of the things like one of the things Nerdy White Guy is on there all day long, just beefing with people, and it seems like people comment to him and then he just answers back, but he'll do it in a whole conversation. So that's what I'm saying. You will pick up all day long these conversations, in TikTok it starts doing it immediately. You don't go and click onto it and then it starts doing it, just starts doing it. So you start hearing him immediately when it goes to the next video. And so you can get he's always beefing and bitching. And so yesterday though, he said something that I just thought was really interesting, because this is again is where people do not see themselves. They are only so busy looking at others that they see the problem in someone else, but they're not seeing it in themselves. Because, I had already said, he goes on and he seems to be always going onto people's pages and trying to tell them his information is the correct information. Don't spread anything that's not his. He's got all the information, and he'll come in and correct you if you're spreading something that he thinks is not the right thing. And so yesterday he was sitting there saying to somebody like, yeah, I keep trying to go in and tell these people, but they're so arrogant. They just can't listen. These star seeds. I really don't like star seeds. Like, and you start going into this whole thing about star seeds and their ego, and they think that they're here to help people. And, that's all about ego. These people that think like they are going to help somebody and they know something, and I keep trying to tell them the real information and they just won't listen. I was like, dude, I'm listening and you sound arrogant as fuck. You sound like the biggest hypocrite. Like, how are you complaining about somebody doing something that you're doing? It's so bizarre. But, that just clarified to me that he really is going in and doing that. He really is going into people's stuff and just keeps, either people who are trying to converse with the person who posted, he goes in and interrupts it because the person posting is wrong. I've got the information. I will tell you. And so, he starts his stuff on his own thing, but I was just like, oh my gosh, the arrogance. And there was another one too. There was quite a few. There was this one, and it was a girl who were friends, on the thing. I don't know her or anything, but we're friends. We follow each other. And so I don't know how long, because most of the people who I follow are from when I very first started. And everybody who followed me, I would just follow them back, because I was just trying to be nice. And then I started having just all these weird videos pop up, and I was like, oh my God, and I was complaining about it to somebody, like, I don't want to watch people dancing and, showing their boobs and stuff for attention. That, it's gross. And it's just these attention, like, oh, please give me attention, please, somebody give me attention. And I was like, ugh. And my daughter goes, well, you don't follow the people back like that. That if you don't like their content, you need to know what their content is before you follow them back. Don't just follow back. And so then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to not follow back like that anymore. I'm going to start paying more attention. But I didn't want to hurt people's feelings and stop following them. I just thought it was rude. And so, but I stopped following. And then when you get these big jumps anyways, like if you get a video that goes super popular or viral or any of that stuff, you get a whole bunch of people that start following you at once. So when that happened, and there was so many, I was like, oh, screw this. I can't go in and go check all this and follow all these people. Just let it go, and so then you start building a lot more of the people following you. But this person was somebody who I had followed back. So, and I obviously did not know her content at all. And so she was posting, because people are really freaking out. Like, everything that goes on is to bring stuff up inside of you. So you can bring it up and you can see it, and you can deal with it. And they use these distractions, which, funny enough, the day that they released their big thing, suddenly the federal government can't have a say, so we're going to reverse it. Well, if you look at it like we should be looking at it, it was like, good. Federal government should not have any say over what the fuck I do at my house. And we need to be going in that direction. We need to get rid of government. We don't need their overstep and coming into our homes and telling us how to run them. And so it's actually a good thing to have this go back to city, state, community, or whatever. And if you're in a community, you think it's vital that you need to have those available to all people, then that is the community that you need to go and find and align with those people, And so, because there will be people who think it's, a good idea to keep doing it. Even though, so she was one of those people, obviously, who was very outraged. And I can't remember what it was. It was, so she goes on her video and she says, there are no babies being killed. To all you people who think they're killing babies, you are wrong. It's a zygote. That's all it is. And I was just like, what the hell? So I had to comment. And I was the first person to comment, so of course she saw it. And set me up for one of those friggin' damn ass responses, video response. So then you get a lot more attention, you get a lot more people coming in to say what they're going to say to you when that happens. And so she came back and she's like, oh, Kelly girl, I love your content, but you are so wrong on this. There is no dead babies. I don't know where you're seeing this, but there is no dead babies. A zygote is just cells or something like that. It's like, dude, I'm a fucking nurse. I fucking know what the fuck a zygote is. And even if I can't say it right, zygote, whatever, it's not something that would just... Maybe if you worked in labor and delivery, you'd talk about it all the time, but I still know what the fuck it is. And I knew she's wrong. I saw the footage. I saw the fucking footage before it was censored and taken down. It was going all over the place. That girl who broke into that place and stole him, they went to the coroner and stuff. Those things were almost term. They were not anywhere, you wouldn't even see it. There would be, if it was a lump of cells, Plan B would work. Anything to just get the cells to detach. It's just cells. It would just be a period, right? Anything. You would need to go up there with little machines and chop up like a blender. You wouldn't need to go up there and shoot a bunch of chemicals to murder and then suck it out with a vacuum. Like, how do you... it was weird. It's like, girl, do you even know what... Like, I saw footage of what was being taken out. Like, oh my God, when Planned Parenthood very first started going mainstream community, it was, I was in high school. And so there was a lot of kind of warring back and forth. And there was a lot of pictures and footage going around of babies at every stage of development inside of you. They're not a lump of cells for very long. Right away, they start taking form, and we saw all those pictures. And so I've been seeing these pictures for a long time. And then I saw the footage of what was being taken out when that girl broke into that one and took them all. And she gets in trouble, but the people who murdered all the babies don't. So then they took... It was all censored, but I saw the footage several times. And it was disturbing. I've seen so much footage, though, now of stuff from... it just popped into my head. One of the things was so fucking disturbing. It was like a conveyor belt, kind of. And it was like 4 women around this conveyor belt thing. And I think it was like a little bucket there, and they would pull out a little dead fetus, and then they would lay it out on the thing and do this stuff to it, and then throw it to the side, pull it out, do this stuff, throw it to the side. Just, oh man, those kinds of things just get in your head. But and then I saw yesterday a woman, and I don't know if she was a politician or whatever she was, but she was speaking, I think, to the news, and she was talking about, it seemed like she was a doctor, but she was talking about what really goes on in those procedures and what they really do, and that it really is going in there and chopping them up and doing all this horrible stuff. And so this girl to sit there and be like, oh, and I'm not going to go into beef with people, like, I'm not going to go into this big public beef with somebody and sit there and video back to them and arguing about this. It's like, we are on totally two different sides of this, and there's no point of arguing. One of us is going to have to see the truth. And so then yesterday I saw that she, all day long, she was popping up more than Nerdy White Guy. I mean, between the two of them, it was just like them, one after another. It was like, oh my God, I can't even be on here. But she was beefing all day long with conservatives, and he's beefing all, I don't even know. Sometimes I think he just pulls out any old comment and then doesn't even have to deal with anything. He just starts talking. He just goes and kind of wanders off and rambles, and then he'll be talking, and he'll just be standing there like looking at the sun and talking and squinting. It's like he just seems so many times like he's just in his own world, and he's just kind of pulling you in with him as he's speaking. I don't know, it's weird, but he's a character. If he wasn't a character, I'd already blocked him. But so this girl, and I didn't block her either, because if somebody just comes in and comes at me and starts ridiculing me and telling me I'm stupid and crazy and shut up and you shouldn't be doing it, then it's like, block. I'm not going to have anything to say to you. And then, but some of these people, so this girl, I didn't argue back with her, but I had some more people come in and start trying to argue with me. And, telling me, oh, well, go get your Bible and watch Fox and stuff. And it's like, I can't even believe how many times since my awakening that I have been told that by these people. It's like their go-to thing. It's like, dude, I was one of you. I was one of you. You're not watching Fox. I am one of you. I woke up. You're still asleep. I'm trying to wake you up. But you are just so stuck. So in all her beefs and stuff, one of the people, which I think this one wasn't arguing, I think it was more of a bonding moment, but it could have been her just trying to make a point, because it probably was something arguing. I kept flipping through them. It was like, oh, this is turning my stomach. And but she was saying I wish I would have been aborted. I wish my mom wouldn't have just drugged me in and just taken me into her life without my consent. I didn't want to be here. I don't want to be here. And that's how I felt about it. And then I had my daughter, and I think that is already when I was already off of it. But so she had her daughter, and, that has made her life more worthwhile. But her mom should have aborted her because she didn't even want to be born, especially to her mom. It's like, I was to that one, and I didn't go on and say anything to her. I just did another recording of my own. I was like, people are so spiritually inept to sit there and think like you would have rather been aborted. Like, people don't even understand. You chose this life. You chose those parents. You chose everything. Nothing was just by accident. Nothing is by happenstance. It just happened. No, it's all destiny. It's all happening for you, so you can expand, so you can grow. But so many people just, if you're looking at something, oh, it just happens to me, then you're not going to use it. and you're not going to grow from it. You're going to just sit and, cry about it. And, like that girl should have been working and bonding more, trying to heal the relationship with her mom. And some relationships, you can't heal with people. You're just not in alignment. And you got to just let those go and move forward with your life and love yourself and learn how to be more productive. Because sometimes those are the relationships you have, are ones to push you into loving yourself. So I don't know. To me, all I could just hear is just pain and suffering, pain and suffering. I hate myself. I hate my life. I hate myself. I hate my life. Over and over and over by people. It's heartbreaking. But I did get a good chance I did some videos, just like, you guys seem to act like you don't understand that they are sterilizing poor people without their consent. I did a whole long thing about, these white girls who think that, you're all supportive of Planned Parenthood, and you run down in your little suburban bougie PP center to pick up your, prophylactics or whatever it is you go there for, because, it's become the main place where most young girls go for their gyne care, they all go there. And in the suburbs, like, I don't know about the other places. I would imagine the way the system works is to make sure that there's not a lot available in most places except for that. And so I tried to make sure to make the point of, what do you think happens when you go into that place and you're poor? Do you think that they say, yeah, this is a good time. Let's get you some vitamins. Let's get you going on this. No. They tell you this is a bad time for you, that you need to do something about this, and that they'll set you up with a date on the procedure. Don't let your life be ruined by this. You got to how could you do that to that baby? How could you bring that baby into poverty like that? So they put pressure on them to do that. And then, it's known fact, you get very many of those, you get scar tissue, you can't have babies anymore. So they do that. They just, there's a lot of different ways that they sterilize them, and they are definitely not letting them have babies, and they do take their babies. That's the biggest thing, is the poor people's babies. That's the babies that were being fed. It's not, it's not these rich white girls that are out there marching with their signs. Well, I would say rich, but I'm only talking in comparison to somebody who's living in poverty. That if you are being able to pay your bills, well, you would appear to be rich because they don't even have that experience. But so in this society, if you are not, living in a, 1,600 square foot home and have 2 cars in the garage and both people working, and you shouldn't be allowed to have kids, in this government system. And so, the people just don't recognize that the control that they have. They think like everybody's having the same experience as you. No. And all of these white girls out there, oh, I would never get one, but because I was one of them. I was one, and I've heard this said so many times. And I know it's not just the people saying it. It's so many people thinking it and not saying it. Well, I would never get one of those. But I'm not going to interfere with other people's rights. I'm not going to be the one who says nobody should be able to have one. Oh, this is pulling on my head. Everything. One thing too, oh God, oh man, these spasm things or whatever is going on with these weird things. I started putting this together is when my daughter was here, and she got super, super sick. And she was diagnosed with that fibromyalgia, which I've always said. It has something, she has a bad metal allergy. And so I know it's the heavy metals that are affecting her. And so it's doing something to cause autoimmune diseases, cancers, disease. Everything is caused by these chemicals. But people keep wanting to think, no, it's my body. Something wrong with my body. I don't even know my body. I should have been a boy. I'm a girl. Like all these people, it's like, it's not your body, people. It's your attitude. It's how you're looking at things. It's your beliefs. And so anyways, when she had that situation happen and she was, something happened and she was explaining it to me, but she had done something just like what I had done, fall. And she did something to just strain it or do, I don't remember what it was that caused the problem. But then she couldn't even get out of bed for weeks and weeks. And not only that, she was just laying there with this heating pad on her, and then it blanched her skin. And the skin blanching is cell death, and it took months for it to go better. And there was a possibility it was never going to go better. And it was creepy looking. It looked like a dead body on part of her body. And so I was, she was explaining a lot to me about the pain and what it is and all that stuff. So now, while I've been sitting here, I was like, this is what she was talking about. These weird muscles that go into this deep spasm. And then if, like, I can sit here like this, and I can still feel them, but if I lean back and it just barely touches, it just sends it into this horrible kind of spasm thing. And again, I'm saying there is something with this, something with the nerves or the sheath of our nerves or the pathways. There's some kind of interference that is causing these pain disorders. And but look at all the pain medicine the big pharma sells, which I've seen so many people sharing about. There's just so many weeds that you can go in and make a tea out of them, boil them, bring in the extract, or you can also boil it. You can just take like the leaves and put them in a jar with like go get I think it's like any kind of strong vodka or something. I mean, you can look it up. I don't know why I'm thinking Everclear, but it's some sort of strong alcohol. You pour it in there, and then you set it in a cabinet for like 6 weeks, and then you pull it out, strain it, and then you have an extract. So you just take like a couple drops. But there's a bunch of weeds that are as strong as like morphine and stuff. So we have weeds out there and stuff. Like if we have pain, if something does happen, we have stuff. But their creation of these chemicals is just interfering more with our system. But they're creating the pain that needs to be managed. It's all part of their whole scheme. It's so aggravating to me. But it's weird because when she was talking about it, I couldn't really understand what she was saying. But now that I'm feeling it, now I see like, oh man, I can see why she was just laying in there miserable. It's really, really horrible. And I just keep thinking, okay, just got to get through like 6 weeks of this until it calms down. Or I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, it was hurting so bad. I smoked on my joints. I don't even have any joints. So now it's just like, well, I'm just going to have to wait a couple weeks till I get paid. But I need to take a break anyways. I'm smoking so much now. I'm wheezing. Ooh, which also... Yesterday, the wackadoo neighbors, the ones that are just, oh my gosh, they just go and fight with everybody. The woman who sits outside was talking on the phone, and if a dog barks, she starts yelling. Like, they are just different. They are in their own world of pain. Because you can tell. You can just tell, like there's no point of trying to argue with them or something. They're living in their own pain already. And they're overweight, they're sickly. And yesterday when I couldn't see what was going on, but we could hear it. And the other neighbors were out. We're all hearing. I'm sure we weren't the only ones because this was so loud. And it's always been them. Well, the people next door to me, there's a lot of noise over there, but they have little kids and their little girls are always fighting and screaming. And then the dad's got a loud yell, and he's always yelling at him to stop it. So that noise over there. But, the couple's not standing outside fighting, bringing all of their personal business to the neighborhood. These people do. So there was some sort of all this yelling and stuff, and it was something with the dog. And that's when I very first got in the first fight with them, When I very first moved in and my daughter came to visit, and we were going to go walk over to the hill and take the dogs for a walk, and they didn't have leashes. I thought, well, we live in the country now. And the guy comes barreling out there because her dog had ran over there and pooped in his yard. So he came out there and he was so livid that this dog had pooped in his yard and there's a leash law and stuff. He comes out and starts this whole fight with me, which is continued. If they even see me, they start a fight with me. They cannot stand me because I think because I argue back with them. It's like, fuck you, fucking asshole. And then he's very threatening. This man to a woman starts threatening he's going to come and kick your ass. So yesterday, you hear all this start arguing and all this screaming, and then you hear like, get your dog out of my yard. And the woman's like, I don't even know the whole conversation. It was basically like, my dog can shit in your yard. Your dog comes and shits in my yard every day. Screaming at each other. Then the guy, of course, starts telling her she's a fat bitch. And I saw her and she was overweight. See how he is? That's how he is. And he starts saying he's going to beat her up. He's going to kick her ass. And it starts becoming violent right away. And I swear I thought he said something like he'll make her. And then he came running out in the street. And I was like, oh my God, does he have a rifle? I couldn't see, but it looked like that kind of situation. I was like, oh shit, get down low. He's about to start shooting. And so standing there screaming at each other. And he keeps telling her that she's fat and to shut the fuck up. And she keeps telling him, you know, he's an asshole or whatever. And he's like, you need to stop it. I just got back from a funeral. I just buried my best friend. You know, and that's what, you know, I mean, he's in pain and suffering. He has no clue what's going on. They were the ones who, you know, they're out cheering over Joe, you know, like, what are they thinking now? And so that's the thing is, even the biggest assholes, they just make you just want to just pull your hair out, you know, they are biggest assholes because they live in pain and suffering. They live in their own pain. They live in a cesspool of pain. And this was a weird kind of thing. And so yesterday, and I'm still seeing so many people keep putting these magnetic things on their head, and they'll sit and just talk like, look, listen to me. I'm my third eye's open, people. There's this one lady, and she does it all the time. She's always got a soda, those little things you pop off the soda can. She's always got one stuck on her head. And she comes on and talks all the time. It's like a thing now. Because there is a lot of arrogance, I think, in this starseed light worker community. Because I saw other people do whole videos about these starseed people who are so arrogant and they're charging people, and you know, like they'll guide you through your awakening, but you pay them, you know, $199 a week or something. Like, it's you know, but all of that is going to be revealed to yourself. You're going to have to face yourself when the truth comes out and you see your own moral fiber. You know, you're trying to profit off of people's awakening, off of people's spiritual, like, you think that is how energy works and stuff, like, but anyway, so I was on there, and that lady with the thing, she was doing some of those duets, so I saw this lady who I don't follow, I don't know who she is or anything, and I see a lot of people this way, from these duets, that other people follow, and then they share this person's stuff, and so this was one of those. And it was this lady, and she's like sitting outside in the grass, and she's got a big bun on her hair, no makeup on, some short, you know, she wasn't fixed up at all. And she was sitting out there, and she was asking for help, and she was So her whole thing, I won't go word for what she was saying. I'll just do a little synopsis. So her 19-year-old son was murdered last night, and she's asking for people to help. I mean, she said she's so devastated. She shows this picture, that she'll never get to see him again, and somebody out there knows who killed him, and you took my baby away from me, and it's heartbreaking. It's like about to make me cry. I don't want to keep saying it. And so you can feel her pain. So I wanted to know more. Who is this woman? So I went on to her page, and even just the day before, I would say even hours before. So she has a huge social media presence. She has a big following. Might even been like 7 million people. It was a big amount of people. But most of the people who have these huge followings have these same kind of accounts. And so when I was looking, she looks kind of like in her other ones, not in the one when she's sitting out there crying with her hair up, no makeup or anything like that. She just looked like a regular person. In the rest of her videos, she looked like, a Texas, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader all grown up or something. She looked like, like a debutante, like a Southern belle. And, she's got the blonde hair and all the makeup and the thick Southern accent. And she's kind of snappy, kind of cutesy, like, it's just kind of like commentary. But I did think, she is trying to be uplifting and pleasant, and she's sweet. And so I thought, she really is trying to put out like this really positive energy, even though it's, very superficial and shallow. She really has, a good heart where she's really trying to be positive about things. And so then I just got me thinking. And so this is the thing I wanted to share. So you see her and you think like, she's got it all going on, she's got everything going. She's happy, she's spreading positivity. And then she has this tragedy happen, horrible tragedy. And it was like very abrupt. If you look at her videos, it's like, and then boom. And that's what's happening in most people's lives. But the whole thing is that it was shallow. It was superficial. And it is, when you go into like the spiritual sense of things, why things are happening on a spiritual level, her son definitely, his death was to push her into an more of a awakening to what's real. And so that's how I see it. Like, I don't know all the things, but I just thought, see, that just really shows to me that even, you can be thinking that everything is great, but, everybody is being pushed to wake up. There's no getting around it. And there, you have all sorts of people in your life to wake you up. Oh, which is so exciting because, man, my one daughter now, she's really getting it. She is really starting to see. Even last night, she texted me and she said, she goes, you know what? I'm really thinking I should get a gun. I started laughing. I'm like, hey, that's so funny. You guys remember when I said that, like last year or something? And you thought I had gone completely crazy? Now you know. But that's the thing. That's the big thing in the awakening. It is when you start seeing, everybody starts coming to the same side. Like, this has been going on for a long time. We're not waking up and going to that side. People are waking up from that side and coming over here. And so, our team, Red Rover, is growing and growing and growing. And, I felt so, when I was watching that girl and she just like keeps trying to make her point, and she was even getting called out on her points. Like, people are telling her real evidence and she just is in total denial and keeps telling people they're wrong. Nope, that's not true. Nope, that's not true. It's like, girl, we've seen the evidence. We've seen it. Like, and so I was like, okay, so she is obviously in pain and suffering. I mean, she's exposed that. she's exposed her low self-esteem, even though she had a big following. And she was also one of those pages that was very shallow, superficial, you know, no substance. And so she, went out there and said her thing. And she has a lot of followers who obviously believe the way she believes. But she drew attention to herself. And now she has put a lot of how she feels, how she looks at things out into the public eye, like I'm doing. But she's exposing this very dark side of herself, like the shadow self. She's exposing it without even knowing it yet. It's out there. Like she's put it out there. And that, there's a lot of these people who, by all appearances, they've got all the makeup, they're all fixed, their hair, the clothes, they're just telling you about where to shop and all this great thing to eat and blah, blah, blah. In their attitude toward, it's always a snarky and funny and, but this is happening for everybody, and this is the great equalizer to bring us all to the same level, to get us all to where we're all having to heal. And I saw this person, and this is another spiritual person I hadn't seen, but since I don't follow the spiritual TikTok community, I don't know for sure. Maybe this is very common. Maybe they all just sit there saying, well, my guide said this, my guide said that, blah, blah, blah. But this girl was saying she had some download and she said that it was about to go down. She said that her guidance told her that this is about to go down. There's going to be a huge shift, a huge split. And the people who are denying waking up, the people who want to stay trapped, it's going to, and I've heard this so many times, there was just something different in what she was saying that I thought, well, maybe this is it. Maybe we're finally there. It just seems like we just keep building up more and more and more to it. Even when I tried to tell the neighbor too, like about the financial crash and stuff, because it's not going to make our houses worth more because this guy puts in 300 houses. Like that is absurd to be thinking that. But it's all part of the thing. Just like these people who want to promote, PP and think that they are this, ethical place that's really trying to help people with their family planning. But really, think about it. All of those people, I think most of those people that really support that institution would be in the mindset that, yeah, if you're poor and you don't have a lot of money, you shouldn't just go get pregnant and have a baby. You shouldn't just go do that. Yeah, you should go down there and take care of that. Why would you do that? Which is another strange thing. So the strange thing that I think I cut myself off of a minute ago was this person was talking about the day that stuff was released. The day that they did that. Not only did they all of a sudden say, hey, everybody, you can carry your gun. And so they're expecting huge civil unrest, civil war. They want us to kill each other off. And then also there's something about like that they can arrest you and take them from you or something. That's kind of their way to get them from you. But every time I keep interrupting what I was going to say about. The date that they did that, there was something with the dates in the numerology, and something about 666 is the number of the divine feminine, and all of those numbers and the planets that were in alignment, and all of that stuff was about the divine feminine, like a portal for that energy. And that is the energy we're moving into, is the divine feminine. The age of Aquarius will be about creation, the feminine, is going to be, we're moving out of this masculine dominated society that has been about warring and control, and we're moving into a more peaceful driven divine feminine of connection. And the female is a lot more intuitive and tuned into that spiritual side. So that's what we're moving into, more of a society based on that. So this person was saying something about we have these portals opening for that energy to move us into that direction. And it is by no accident that they would cause this huge upheaval on one of these big portal days like this. And because then you see these women out there losing their fucking minds, standing out in the streets, screaming and crying because the federal government said it was illegal for them to have a say over it. So they're not even really hearing the words that are being said. They just hear, you're losing rights, you're losing rights. They already feel defeated. They already feel worthless. And now they're losing rights. How dare the government take our rights? They're doing all these things. So what's coming to the surface is real. It is powerful, and they do need to purge it out. They need to go through the process. But the weird thing to me is that this is about the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is about creation. And we're talking about creation, and when they open their mouths, they're all anti-creation. How dare that thing get in my uterus when I wasn't prepared, when I wasn't ready for it? No, this girl, I couldn't believe how many times I heard her say, that thing's in my uterus, I can rip it out. It's my thing. I don't care. Somebody tried to say, yeah, but it's murder, because if you murder a pregnant woman and she's pregnant, that's a double murder. And she said, no, I don't think you understand. That's because she didn't give consent. I'm giving consent. If I don't want that thing inside of me, it's mine to dispose of. See? It's the words. It's how they look at it. They don't understand that creation of life was just put inside of you. That is powerful. And there's a reason for it. There's a reason behind everything that happens. But anyways, I just thought, it's just more of this absurdity. Women out there in the streets begging to rip life out of themselves, and also demanding their feminine power be acknowledged. I don't know. There's a lot that people have to see. There's a lot people have to see for themselves. That's the only way forward, is for people to recognize themselves in these situations. And all these situations keep coming up so that you get a chance to see yourself. So you get a chance to acknowledge these dark sides of yourself. But when people just keep not wanting to see their shadow, they just want to keep the argument going and in denial of their shadow. But there's no getting away from it. And that's why I keep saying this is going to go on and on and on, because this is a time for people to see their shadow. So I don't know. I really, really don't know when it's at this point, where all these people are like, it's going to shift, it's going to divide, it's going to go in two different ways. And people are like, there's the nature people like us, we're going to go more towards natural medicines and taking care of ourselves, growing our own food and stuff like that. And then you have the other ones that are sickly, don't want to take care of themselves, just want to absorb their consciousness into a metaverse. So people are saying, like, when this metaverse turns on, that's going to be the big divide. But one of the things that I think that we really need to be paying attention to is on, I think it's Monday or the 5th of July is not this Monday, the next one, this week. So this week, that weekend, I'm going to be having company again. I'm having company come, and I will no way have time to video, and it could be something real significant stuff going on, and I won't be able to come in and say anything. But yesterday, or what, I don't think it was yesterday, I think it was the day before, I was outside and I was just laying out, and I'm always in deep meditation, because I'm always talking to the other side. Like, I don't go into like a meditation like what other people think of. To me, I always feel like it just was like going into a trance. So, if you come up and talk, I'll jump. People come and try and talk to me, and it scares the shit out of me. It's like, what? I wasn't even in this world. So, anyway, so I was laying out there, And all of a sudden there was this huge explosion. It was so freaking loud. And when it exploded, it went all the way. I could hear it, the sound travel across and hit the mountain and bounce back. It was so fucking loud. And I jumped up, I grabbed my phone, and I was like, oh my God, am I gonna go live? Is shit about to go down? I'm gonna go live and talk about this? But nothing else happened. And so, but anyways, it made me think like, oh, if shit does go down, I probably will go live. What would I do? Would I go live on YouTube or would I go live on TikTok? Because, I mean, TikTok, there's a lot more people who would, hear me. You go live on YouTube, I think you don't get seen as much for people to know. You kind of, if you're going to go live for your people that you're interacting with in your own page, then you kind of got to warn them like, okay, on blah, blah, blah date, I'm going to go live if y'all want to talk, and see, and the reason I don't do stuff like that is because of my eyes. I can't see. So it would be mostly people watching me try and read a comment. And, it would be a lot more fun if just being able to sit out at a park and have a picnic with everybody and everybody get to talk. But anyways, if something crazy does happen over here where I'm at, I probably would go live to show it, to try and, get the word out what's going on. So I don't know, but the 5th, CERN is turning on the collider for the 3rd time. And I guess every time it turns on, weird stuff happens. People blame the Mandela effect on it, these jumping through realities and stuff. And it's part of their whole thing of whatever they're trying to do. If they're trying to bust out, like, it's so funny. Yeah, that you're held in by vibration. And you're going to keep trying to bust through and bust through. It's like you're just lower vibration. Like you are even getting lower trying to bust through. That's not how you get through something. It's coming to peace is how you go through. And so they're just, we're going to get through. Reminds me of my ex. So one of my last ex, he was like this big old like lumberjack kind of guy. And he didn't want to use this very much. He mostly used this. And so I was always just like, something would, be stuck, say, trying to pick something up or something. It was just like, why, and just, I'm going to fight it. And, it's like, yeah, well, what if you just took a second and you just looked at it and tried to come up with a new thing? Like maybe if you turned it the other direction, maybe if you turned it upside down, like, it was really weird. But anyways, that's what kind of reminds me of with these people. Fuck that vibration. We're going to just bust on through. So anyways, it's not going to work. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go down. I don't know how the split's going to occur, but there's definitely, there is definitely a group of people that are so locked in that they just... they just argue and argue and argue and argue. Just like that guy that I was talking about the other day where people keep going in and sharing this guy because he's so... I don't know. I haven't seen him lately. He maybe got ran off. I don't know. Because people were being so outraged by him. But there's some of those people who turn people into TikTok for their content as being... bullying or something so that they will get their content removed. That's the kind of people these people are, that think they know best. They just try and wipe everybody else out. That's the same kind of energy, right? The corporation energy. Take out the little guy and put yourself on the top of the tower. So there's a lot of these people who just continue to just be so negative and so mean and bully and just don't want to see the truth. They don't want to see that there's even another side to anything that they're looking at. They think there's just the one side. It's kind of like one-dimensional thinking in three-dimensional world or something. It's like expand your mind, people. Open your mind. You've got to open it. You got to unlock it and let the information begin to come in, no matter if it seems crazy or whatever. You got to start letting information come in. Your internal guidance will guide you into what it is you need to know and what they want you to understand. So the whole thing is unlocking and letting everything come in. And there's so many people who just lock the door and don't want anything to come in. They don't want anything to disturb their reality, their view on life. And, I don't know. I don't know. Are those the people who are going to just go and repeat this dimension? Because I do 100% believe, like, in the spiritual sense of things, that this place that we're at, this is a vibration of hell, what people think of as hell, but hell is also an illusion. It's just a manufactured concept. But if you think about hell and what they've told us that hell is, this is hell. This is where we're at. And knowing that it's low vibration, because evil things can't happen in high vibration. Only evil can happen in low vibration. So we are in this, we're in hell. And I believe that, if you think about Jesus coming in trying to help these people, to give them guidance, to help them get themselves out of hell, to unlock the door inside, to help you out of this place that we find ourselves in. And I think that is the whole challenge. I think that's what your soul is, to ascend, to awaken, to pull itself free, because it all makes sense. It's all part of the process. And when you look at it like that, then it's like, oh, it makes so much sense. So some of these people, even though it's not really hell, like you're not really burning and there's a devil over you, it's just this toxic kind of living. But there's a lot of souls that still need to go through those, because their soul would be awakening. Their soul would be guiding them if that's what they were supposed to do. If they were supposed to awaken, something would be happening. So I don't know. Is it just like a dead egg? Like nothing's happening. So I don't know. Are they ones that are just here to get us to look at things and see things more clearly? And that's the role they're playing in the awakening? I don't know. But there's definitely a group of people that are just very, very stuck on kind of just being assholes. So, anyways, I don't know. I hope, every day I hope this is the day something's going to happen. It's just mind-boggling how we have the bank situation in no construction again after they're not being able to burn. Now I'm not seeing a whole bunch of construction, but it could be between groups again. It could be they're just waiting for the wall borders to come in. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's all has to do with money and the banks going down, because this is absurd. It's all absurd how they keep this going. Everything is so fake and artificial. There's just no way you can be paying attention and think anything is real. It's ridiculous. They can keep this going when there's not money. And they just keep pretending. And the banks keep, I don't know. But there's so much more coming out now with the feud between Joe and Trump and all of that. And that a part of the what are those people called? The SCOTUS people. Part of their whole thing of saying, we can't, this is out of our say about procedures done on women. We can't take a stand on that. It's out of our range of what we're allowed to do. People lose their goddamn minds, but and this is what we want. We want the federal government out of our fucking business. But anyways, so now they're saying that not only are they going to do gay marriage, which who cares? All of this stuff, who cares? We need the government to be out of our fucking lives. There's no reason. And besides, all of the whole thing about marriage and gay marriage and stuff was all just so they could do taxes. Because there's tax breaks in marriage. Government all over it. Government, government, government. And all of our shit. But anyways, if they, part of the whole thing from what I was hearing is that them saying that they don't have say over this, they don't have say over that, is all leading us into everything going back to the states, which now we have all of these states that will not do the word you can't say that happens in November. Now that is all being getting reversed. So we got the banks crashing, we got the reversal happening because states will not acknowledge, because they're going to get in trouble if they do. And so there's just so much stuff happening, you know. I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And at any moment and any day, it can all just... And, you know, part of it, too, I think, you know, there this weekend when they had these two conflicting groups to both get pissed off and try and get into the streets. I mean, they actually have politicians out there trying to draw them into the streets. Like, and that one woman, I don't know who she is, but she's sick again. So hopefully, I'm so sick of seeing her fucking face. She looks so creepy. Sometimes I saw one video and she's just standing back in the crowd. She never blinked, and her eyes were just like... She never blinked. She looked like a fucking clone. She looked like some sort of... She didn't look human. It was weird as fuck. I've seen Meghan Markle look like that, too. I've seen a lot of these people like, what the hell is going on? Anyways, so... you know, I think they're hoping, like, causing all this civil unrest and getting these two groups that are so divided to meet in the streets. This is going to get a lot of their work done for them. They think we're just going to go out and kill each other. Like, I don't think people are going to do that. And the people who do that, they are, they're not awake. My daughter yesterday, you know, because now she's getting very, very worked up about shit. I was like, yeah. And so she was like, oh, I'm going to go down. I'm going down. I'm going to the streets. I was like, do not go down and go to the streets. That is what they want you to do. And they dress up like the other side so that they can shoot people and kill people and then blame it on the other group. So it's a game. You don't want to be going to the streets. The people who are going to the streets are going to find themselves in worse situations. The smart thing to do is to ride this out. They're trying to draw us out with our streets by tapping into our emotions and us not having control of them. And, you know, just like you keep seeing these people just losing their minds. It's like, you need to get control of your emotions. You need to reel it in, calm down, do a little research, stop and listen and what's really being said. Like... But, you know, they've got people so worked up, so frazzled, so on the edge of their fucking seats that those people will, a lot of those people will be transitioning off planet. That's what I think. But that's what that one woman said with this big divide. She said, everybody better be prepared because we're about to lose half the people off this planet. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think I say that every time. We'll see. So, I'll talk to you later. Bye.